What's going on, guys? Welcome to Tower Talk number 18. We got Blue Wessel here.
How's it going? Hi.
And then we got Hollowtide as well.
How's it going?
Awesome. You also go by Corey. I'm going to call you Corey because it's easier for me.
Personal. I like it.
I'm going to make it
fun.
personal right here. It's getting all kinds of personal here on Tower Talk. We're going to take the HUD off, and take some snapshots without the HUD. You guys up for that?
It's a little bit lewd, but I'll go with it, fam.
So, how are you guys feeling? Well, how's your experience so far, Corey? How are you feeling with the update and how things have shaped up with Bungie dropping this on us?
I think a lot of people thought there would be a lot more meaty content instead of just, Prison of Elders and stuff.
People thought there'd be more dank memes. That's what they're expecting.
I think there's a lot of stuff that goes into, what they release and everything like that. So I think if you had your expectations tempered, then this is a good update. And it's a good update for, casual players.
So have you done all of Prison Elder stuff last week and now this week as well? Or have you just started?
I haven't done this week yet. I know a lot of people were tweeting out.
Psylocke the Defiled?
Apparently it's super hard. So
Psylocke himself is not hard. Psylocke himself has just now become a meme. That wizard came from the moon type meme. Because Varric's are like,
he is.
Psylocke the Defiled! Thirst for your life.
So it's like a cell from the Prison of Elders type of thing.
Yes. It's just really out of place voiceover acting, which, we all love and appreciate Varric's, but he's kind of a creeper. But then all of a sudden he gets really excited over Psylocke the Defiled. In actuality, so I played Challenge Elders this week so far, and it's I wouldn't go so far as saying it's difficult. Last week was like cakewalk. This week it feels a little bit more like a heroic strike.
I know a lot of people are attempting to, solo the Prison of Elders stuff right now, and I don't know if that's what Bungie wants to happen or if it's just like super easy because they want people to be able to go through it, either by yourself or, with a casual group of friends. So I don't know how much difficulty that they could ramp up in that amount of time for something like Prison of Elders. So maybe you're supposed to look at it as something on a heroic strike level instead of something that's raid-like.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's supposed to be like a bridge between those two things, but
it definitely feels like content that's meant to bridge to the next expansion, obviously. Like, they gave us this drop to be like, you need something to do because you obviously love the game and want to still play it. So we need content to do. And for the most part, there's a lot of just unused content in the game world that they just haven't brought back. Well, this is kind of the first time they're taking something like Prison Elders, bringing it back with the live team, with what they can do, and giving us a bridge to hit max level. And also giving us that max level increase also, which was nice, changing the loot system and all that. And it's been good. Last week was a lot easier to farm because you could just power through and get drops for your class item, your ghost, and your specials. This week is definitely harder to just breeze through and get the drops. It's like a heroic strike difficulty. You can definitely, if you focus and coordinate, you can easily hit the 30,000 mark. That's not a problem. And then the 90,000 is just cumulative, so you just keep on playing it.
I personally just see it as just another way to diversify the end game. Trials gives you 3 through 5 now. I think it was just another, honestly, a big way to diversify how you get end game loot. I said it last week, and I mean it pretty much held true this week. They clearly don't care about difficulty inside the actual Prison of Elders when it comes to challenge mode. They only care about how difficult it is for you to get the points. If you throw in a Sunsinger or Voidwalker, the Sunsinger and Voidwalker can do it by themselves.
In case somebody doesn't know what the modifiers are for
Okay. So Challenge of Elders has modifiers this week that basically gives Warlocks in general a pretty big edge because Warlocks have really good grenades. It's that grenades recharge faster, and you get extra points if you get grenade kills. So if you're a Sunsinger, suddenly you can just toss a bunch of grenades and a bunch of free kills.
Sweet.
And if you got two Sunsingers making orbs for each other, you pretty much have infinite grenades anyways. Alternatively, and probably the better way, is to go Voidwalker with scatter grenades and just spam the hell out of your new energy drain abilities. With Voidwalker, if you get a kill with a grenade, that basically says, all right, give us about 3 seconds. You're going to have another grenade anyway, fam. Like, so yeah, this week it favors Warlocks. Next week it could give us abilities that favor Hunters. You know, it just depends. So
Like melee abilities.
yeah, like melee abilities.
Like you could have Sealed Arhamkar's grasps with double knives.
Yeah, exactly. You have double knives. Blink Strike would, like the back Blink Strike could be awesome for melee because it's guaranteed melee kill. It's good. I like where they're going with it. It just feels like right when you really get started with Prison of Elders, it ends. That's just been my main issue with it.
Again, it's the live team doing what they can with what they have and the resources that they have. And it's a free update. You know, so you always have to butter it with that to be like.
So which is why
Yeah.
I say instead of seeing it as this, like, you know, the big end game activity, just see it as another route for you to go to get a little bit of extra max light gear.
For a quality of life, and if you've just not really been playing the game that often lately, or maybe you just made a hunter or a warlock, only a warlock, and maybe your other characters haven't even been leveled up, like this is a great update. You're going to get rewards very fast to be able to just hit the max level within a few months.
This is probably the first time, even as a hardcore player in Destiny, I felt like I've been properly rewarded for what I've been putting into the game.
Feels like you can use it more for like other. You can infuse it on different characters, or like if you have other friends and stuff, and it's like you said, warlocks are going to be preferred this week. In PoE, you know, you can go power level your warlock really fast, and you can run with 3 warlocks and stuff. So
Blue engrams drop at like 315 now, or blue end game rewards drop at 315, so you can easily power level.
If you've never touched Destiny, then this really is the perfect time to jump into it.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. I haven't personally dug into the Crucible changes myself because I've been busy with just streaming
Skill-based
Elders.
matchmaking is alive.
That's what I hear. I hear across the board that it reared its ugly head.
Truthfully, on my end, I just don't know who I can trust when we get answers from Bungie on if we have skill-based matchmaking or not. And that trust between the consumer is just not really there for a lot of people. And the sad part is it really only applies to Crucible.
I don't know why they want skill-based matchmaking so much, other than the fact that nobody likes to get, you know, destroyed in multiplayer games. But at the same time, don't they always talk about how PvE is like the main focus and Crucible is a place just to go to chillax and stuff? So
They've gone on record to say it's important not to take Crucible seriously because they have so many elements in the game that just truly are not balanceable. The diversity in Destiny is great, but it's also Crucible's greatest weakness.
Yeah, they want beer and pizza games, and yet here we are having, you know, you get matched up. If you're a 1%er, you get matched up with people who are only playing with the top 1% of the weapons.
Yeah, there's always going to be people that make the game competitive, but that's after they make it competitive with their own rule set. And it's ironic because the very people that like competition also really do not like going into a regular Crucible match and playing a sweaty match in the same way they would play if they were like doing like a scrim with like their friends.
Yeah, sometimes you really do want to just go to the basketball court and shoot some hoops for fun. You don't want to act like you're trying to land every single shot at the basketball court, because that can get exhausting, you know? What's Corey, what type of weapons have you seen since the patch that has been performing maybe better, or, you know, like, have you seen a shift or like a kind of meta forming at the moment?
I definitely feel like people are still trying to test out weapons, but like with the last word nerf, I don't see anybody running that in either regular Crucible, maybe sometimes in sweaties depending on like connections and stuff like that. But it's almost like people are going back to pulse rifles and, you know, scout rifles sometimes with like the Mida in the regular Crucible. But the vendor Hawksaw that they're selling is fantastic. It's amazing, and I see a lot of people running around with that. And then I see a lot of people trying to get the year one, like LDR and stuff like that. They're trying to bring back these guns from yesteryear. So I think that's pretty cool too. Right now, I feel like there's a good balance of weapons in the Crucible.
I mean, that Mida multi-tool is still, even though the high caliber rounds were removed, it still
It
is
is
a
just
fantastic
don't
weapon.
touch that gun anymore. That's like that's the pure example
purity.
of how you balance a perfectly balanced gun. So good. And I never agreed with the high caliber in PvP. I would like high caliber in PvE because that's Midas kind of meh in PvE now. But in PvP, that is perfectly balanced gun. Quite honestly.
I did play Trials over the weekend, and I felt like I got the same experience of getting matched up against teams that were across the board, and then eventually you get some phantom connections and people being able to like melee you from crazy distances. Or I got meleeed mid shadow step from crazy distance. I was like, okay, that's a connection problem. The special ammo changes are very refreshing. Because I want the game to have more of a primary weapon focus because they're so cool, and I want less of just playing the special game, and it does feel like it's heading towards that direction. Is it perfect? They kind of broke a lot of things in PvE. PvE, you find yourself running out of sniper bullets a lot faster, and it does not feel like the bricks are dropping anymore. So I feel like there's a bug right there.
Yeah, moving forward, I think they have to be really, really careful about how they balance PvP and PvE, because this is honestly the first big change that has really negatively affected PvE.
Which I think there was a tweet that they admitted that special wasn't dropping nearly as much as it should. The big fear is that it's going to take like 4 months to fix that. 4 months later we get a patch and then suddenly a new expansion drops.
That's the dirty secret of game design. If just when you fix one thing, chances are you break like 4 others, then you have to go back and fix that.
I mean, you can always go up and talk to your boy Banshee and buy some sense, man.
Yo, Banshee, you got some weapon parts and
It
Help
just
the
feels so
economy.
dirty popping a special.
You gotta help the economy. Get rid of that glimmer.
I mean, I haven't popped a primary synth in like 6 months until Challenge of Elders.
I think I still have like 20 primary synths from the very first year of Destiny, out of like the 50 stack I bought.
On the Xbox One, that's my case. Yeah, we can hope that they're going to fix it. They're going to be jumping on it and maybe be more responsive. It seems like they're trying to be. We just don't know. Like at what point they go from, yeah, we're trying to maintain the base game right now, but there's this Destiny 2 that's being developed, until finally it's like full attention on Destiny 2, and they're like, what? You Destiny Vanilla? What?
Planned update in the first place, or do you think it's from all the feedback they got from Festival of Loss and SRL?
From all the feedback, honestly. I don't think they fully intended it.
Could you imagine having like Iron Banner 1 week, and then the next week is SRL, and then the next week is something?
So
it would have
sick.
been, yeah.
That's what I thought they were doing. That's what I thought they were like building up towards. Like, all right, Crimson Doubles is this week, SRL is this week.
Yeah, it's just extra. It's extra loot. It's a loot-based game. We enjoy getting loot, regardless if it's crap.
I was on a podcast this week, and a really good point was brought up, and how the strikes potentially dropping you exclusive loot up to 335 is something that should be in the entire game. Like, we should be able to go farm a public event for a potential to get like one specific weapon that can drop from that public event boss. Obviously, if you want to go farm that, it's not going to get you to max light level, but can get you geared that actually does matter in the end game.
It's like on Borderlands 2. There were times where you keep on reloading an area for the hope that this one yellow named enemy would show up, because it wasn't a guarantee that they'd show up on each instance. But you keep on reloading it, and then once you kill them, there's a possibility that they're going to drop that sweet legendary they've been looking for. And that was excitement alone to try to keep on farming that stuff.
You get excited when you actually see the quote unquote boss, and then when you take him down, you're like, oh my god, did I get it? So
agreed. Before we wrap everything up, we should talk actually about the rumor of the future, and which I think is definitely going to in the year 3000. Talk about the future of the PlayStation Neo, and that seriously has the potential to affect Destiny 2, which, okay, I'm going to throw a little theory here. I think one of the reasons why Destiny 2 was postponed is because of this new console, or the new variety. I'm getting straight up conspiracy right here, all right?
That is a very valid
Listen
thing.
to this, right? let's say Sony's like, we're officially going to be releasing this soon, and here's the dates. You know, all they're saying that games have to be ready to support the Neo after, I think, is it October
Yeah,
or
it's
November
after
of 2016?
October. Games that are
Right.
being
So-
developed need to be able to support a. Well, they don't have to have a Neo version, but if you want a Neo version, then you have to make sure it abides by guidelines and standards
to support PlayStation
Yes.
4. So every game that releases is either going to support the Neo and PS4 or just the PS4 after October or November of 2016. So my theory is that Destiny 2 was pushed with the intention to support the Neo, which is going to allow for
That's such a good theory.
Please, baby,
And for those of you
Jesus.
that
60 frames per
For those of
second,
you
60 frames per
that
second on Destiny.
are kind of like unaware of what Neo is, it's really not fundamentally different from how people play with PC games. Some people have stronger PCs, some people have weaker PCs. I really like what they're doing.
What did you just say?
What the hell? What?
What did you just say?
Exactly. Look, I don't want to like cut anyone down, but like if you have the hardware to support the high settings, which would be the PS Neo, then congratulations, you are now playing the game at high settings. It feels like Bungie's always working by constraints, especially with last gen.
Well, you know what happened today, right? They're not making any more 360s. So
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, right.
why would you?
The 360 production line finally got
I
cut.
would
Yeah.
assume that you wouldn't develop a game for a console that's no longer in production.
And then obviously there's also rumors of what the Xbox like 1.5 as well as the PS Neo. This gives Bungie options to expand Destiny 2 to what they actually want it to be.
Do you think they'll have like a trade-in bonus type of thing? If you trade in your PS4 towards a Neo, you get like an extra $100 or something.
It would probably only be with GameStop, and they'll probably still only pay you like $50 for your PS4.
Like, hey man, thanks, dude.
Be like, here's 2 peanuts for your PS4.
Buy PS Neo, and a 1% off code for the PS Neo.
Yeah, and here's a free subscription to Game Informer. Thanks. You're better off selling it on Craigslist, but if you do, make sure you go to a public area. Bring it to like a coffee shop. All right.
Yeah, bring it to like a
That's word of
Starbucks.
advice.
Like, be like, yo, let's meet in front of the
Yeah.
Starbucks. If the guy is sketched out by going to a Starbucks, then that's probably not someone you want to be doing business with anyway.
Yep. First sign you don't do the deal. Tips of the trade right there. Yeah. Well, I think that's a podcast right there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to Tower Talk number 18. It's been awesome. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter and catch the streams that I do for Planet Destiny, twitch.tv/planet_destiny, and also my personal channel as well, twitch.tv/TeftyTeft.
You can find me, Blue Westlow, on Twitter at Blue Westlow, twitch.tv/Blue Westlow, and then maybe sometime in the future, but probably not, on youtube.com/Blue Westlow.
Dodge. That's all you do. You can find me, aka Hollowtide or Corey or Hollow or whatever you want to call me, on Twitter at Hollowtide, HOLLOWTIDE, and on Twitch with the same name but an underscore at the end. And if you come and visit, you should definitely use the command hairline.
Oh, okay. All
Command
right.
hairline.
Giving you extra
Awesome.
Easter egg.
Super secret. Is that an homage to Wally, Sir Wallen?
Wow.
It's not it at all. Somebody came to my stream and told me I had a Mickey Mouse looking hairline, so I decided to make it that.
Oh,
Oh, man.
nice.
Tattoo with a shade.
Awesome. Highly recommend checking out Corey's Twitch channel. It's awesome. He runs a great stream.
Bye!
See ya.